Good morning. We're a little bit late in the week coming to you this week, and that's because I got the opportunity to spend some time in Raleigh speaking to people about some projects for the school system, and also I had an opportunity to sit in on some professional development with about 30 other superintendents from across the state of North Carolina. And that allowed me the opportunity to hear how things are happening in other school systems and some of the projects that they have going on, and to gain some other knowledge that helps me to grow as a person. But one of the things that we spoke about universally across North Carolina is the importance of coming to school. And the purpose of coming to school is more than just learning facts or learning how to put numbers together so that we can add and multiply and divide and all of those things. Actually, all of those things are going to add together, and we're going to produce people who will be employable when they either graduate from Swain County High School or after they go on to post-secondary education like college or the military or something like that. Our job is to produce employable citizens. Now, one of the things that we've noted about employable citizens is that very often they come to work immediately after high school or later on with some unhealthy habits. And one of those is attendance. And so I thought we should capitalize on that today after seeing Tricia Chapman's Fish Friday video from last week where she had some great details about the correlation between coming to school and what the students need to do. As a matter of fact, I would encourage you to see that, and we may even drop something in about that here, or at least we'll give you a link to it so that you can watch that. Now, with me to address that, I have Evan Clapsaddle, who is principal at East Elementary, and also Sonia Blankenship, who is the principal here at Swain County High School, and we're in the lobby of the Swain Arts Center. And I want to ask them about what the impact is concerning attendance at their two different levels. Now, Mr. Clapsaddle, would you say that the attendance of the students has a direct impact on what they are doing in school?
Absolutely. At the elementary level, we do our English language arts lessons first thing in the morning, so students who are either absent or chronically tardy miss foundational pieces for their learning to read, learning to decode words and sentences in the K2 grades. And when they get to 3-5, if without that foundation of skills, it's very difficult for them to take on the challenge, what we call reading to learn, where you take larger passages, you break them down into parts of speech and define their meaning, their tone, their theme. All those foundational pieces for our younger students take place in the morning. Attendance is critical throughout the day, however, as well, because in the afternoons we have our math classes. So chronic attendance can also include too many early outs, can damage their foundational learning about math and how to think analytically.
And Mr. Clapsaddle, I think that it would be fair to say that a student who is chronically absent or perhaps chronically tardy, that those students probably suffer as far as their grades are concerned as they are trying to work through those subjects in the classroom. Would you agree?
I do. I would agree with that. They suffer in the immediate as far as their grades because they don't have the requisite skills to be able to show their mastery of certain concepts and themes. But that can compound itself over the months and over the years if chronic tardiness and chronic absenteeism continues, because again, that foundational piece is so critical for years to come.
And that's, Mr. Clapsaddle, that's the reason that I wanted to have you here from the elementary perspective and also have Ms. Blankenship here from the high school perspective, because what they do in elementary and even pre-K builds to where they get to the high school. And at the high school, one of the things that we find is that the habits that are established at the elementary and pre-K very often travel with the student to the high school. But there's a significant difference between attendance at the elementary and at the high school. Could you explain to the community what that difference is as far as half-a-days and period attendance and things like that?
Absolutely. At the high school, we do period by period attendance, which means that here, it's a credit. Every class that the students have is a credit. They don't just get, year long. It's, for many of them, it's a semester-based thing. So when they miss a day, they are actually missing 4 different classes. And so it's critically important that they are here, especially, again, because we are on semester-based. So missing 1 day is an hour and a half of instruction in each of those 4 classes in a lot of situations. So we really have focused this year on attendance. As a matter of fact, we're trying to see the correlations that you guys have asked us about in terms of success, academic success, and I just this week had the failure report, and of the students who had failed, a significant amount of them was due to absenteeism. The students who had failed were also the students who were not here, and that just speaks to, again, what Mr. Clapsaddle has already said. They are missing those skills. They are missing the opportunities to learn the information so that they can then show us what they know on those end of course tests.
And I would assume, Ms. Blankenship, that as a student comes into high school, not only is there a shift in the level of work that they're doing, but there is probably a shift in the mindset, because all of a sudden it becomes very real, particularly into sophomore, into the junior year, that a student is coming to the end of their public school career, the compulsory part where they have to come to school, and now they're looking towards the future. And this, I'm going to throw this at you, and you really haven't had an opportunity to think about this a whole lot, okay? But when a student leaves Swain County High School, what would you like to see them have the ability to do? What kind of a person do you want to send into the workforce?
Well, we take it upon ourselves to really live the vision statement of the system, which is to produce students who are going to be prepared for a career, whatever that may be, whether they decide that they're going to go into a post-secondary education system, whether they're going to go into the military, or whether they're just going to join the workforce. We want them to be prepared. And we also have a business advisory committee here, and we've heard for years now that attendance is an issue, getting people to be employable that can get to work and get to work on time, which is one of the reasons that we are emphasizing attendance so much, is because regardless of any of those 3 avenues that they choose, that's going to have an impact on the success in their futures from there. So again, that vision statement of preparing them for whatever is ahead of them is very important to us here at Swain County High School.
I don't know if either of you have read the book by Malcolm Gladwell that talks about how to be successful. But in that book, Gladwell says that to be proficient, to be maybe even an expert at whatever it is that our heart desires, you have to spend 10,000 hours in preparation. Now that sounds like a lot of time, but if we think about it, our goal in Swain County is to provide 1,080 hours at least of instruction and opportunity for every single student. And if you take that 1,080 and you just do simple math, that's 10 years of work. And it's not uncommon for us to have students who miss so much time that by the time they've graduated, they have actually limited themselves to a maximum of 11 years. Just because they haven't come to school. So it's important for everyone that our students are, number one, on time, number two, here every day that they can possibly be here. Of course, if they're sick, there's no use for them to be here because they're not going to learn anything that day. But if they've got the sniffles, they probably still could. I've got people all around me with the sniffles. Matter of fact, Miss Blankenship is still getting over strep throat that you've been carrying this week, and that worries me standing next to you. But anyhow, I know that you're on antibiotics and it's all good. And the other piece is stay the whole day so that you can get all of the opportunity to learn. Attendance is critical. As a matter of fact, it might be the most critical piece that we need to focus on with all of our students. So we're asking that you help get our students to school every day. And if there is any way that we can help you, please let us know how to do that. It's imperative that we have every minute with every student so that they can be prepared to graduate from Swain County schools, ready for a career and a balanced life. Thank you all for joining us today. We appreciate you. Thank you for your support. And until we can see you again, God bless you.